Right, hello, welcome back to this week's video. And like you see in last week's video, I unboxed the new steering wheel, custom made steering wheel by Control Customs and carbon fibre. We're going to fit it today, so I'm going to show you what tools you need, how to take the old one off, how to fit the new one, and we'll see what it looks like in the car. So let's go over to the boot where we're going to start it off. So I've already got the tools out that I think we're going to need. So I've got a mallet because I reckon the retaining bolt for the wheel is going to be a bit of a nightmare to get out. So we've got the mallet. Screwdriver, I'll show you, that's for after. And then you need a good, I can open it, a good socket set, because we're going to need a couple of different sockets to get the wheel off itself. But the reason why we're starting in the boot is because of this. I want to disconnect the negative terminal on the battery here. You'll need a 10mm socket to do so, but because I don't want the airbag going off in my face while we're doing it. I know you'd all love to see that, but I won't love it. So let's get this off and then we'll jump in and work out how we get the steering wheel off. I think I know, but you know, with these jobs they never go the way we think they're going to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this off, bend the thing out the way and try and get it out the way there, instead of taking the whole clamp off and cover off and everything, because you've got to take this bolt off. Instead of doing all that, I'm just going to try and bend it, so try and make the job a bit quicker and easier, otherwise we're going to be here all night. You shouldn't need to undo the bolt all the way, it should come off. Need to undo it a bit more. Right, so just be really careful when you're doing this, because obviously the battery is dangerous, it is electric. So just put it there, as long as it's not touching the terminal, we should be fine. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, seeing as I've got it in here, I've got a bit of a rag, so I'm just going to wrap it up in the rag, that way there's definitely no chance it can touch anything metal. And so just a little top tip, I've wrapped the negative terminal in a rag. It's just a rag that I have in the boot just in case wipe stuff off, but it's just that don't come into contact with any metal while we're doing this, because the reason why we've took the negative off in the first place is because I'm trying to prevent the airbag from going off, like I said. So yeah, so just try and keep it away from any metal if you can. So to take off the wheel in the car, you're going to need a torque 55 and a torque 30. So them two are what you're going to need, and that's all you're going to need to take off the wheel. So let me get the other little bits and pieces together and we'll jump in and I'll show you how to take the wheel off. Another little tip, don't shut the boot, because now the battery's disconnected, there's no way to open it. So you're going to have to leave the boot open to do this, because there's not an emergency release or something inside the car that I know of. If you do, get in the comments, but we're going to have to leave it open because it's electrically opened and now there's no electric. So don't shut the boot. Right, so if we turn the wheel, which you get the key, we can take off the lock. There you go. So if you look at the wheel here, if you come down and look here, these are the covers to the torque 30 bolts that will release your airbag. So we're going to pop these covers off and then we'll try and undo the bolts. So so turn your wheel all the way to one side and it will just literally pop straight off. You don't even need a screwdriver, you can do it with your hand. So let's put that out of the way. Turn the wheel all the way the other way. It is a bit hard because we are dry steering. Yeah, and there you go. See, no screwdriver needed. So now, before you undo the bolts, I'd recommend turn the wheel back straight, but that's more for mainly when we undo the main bolt. So if you look in there, you should see torque 30 bolt inside. So if you think, oh, a bit of a weird angle, but very easy to undo. Now, one thing about these bolts, they won't come out, so just undo them as much as you can. They're sort of fixed in there, so they won't come out, so just undo them. That's one. This one you're going to have to turn the wheel a bit to get to it. So there we go. So just they really need a good loosen. So right, so now we'll be really careful here. If you come in, you've got this big yellow bolt here. This big yellow one here. This is the main one you need to detach. So let's work out how we do that. It should be just a squeeze or a pull. Yeah, there we go. So it's just literally pull on this bit. And that comes straight off. And you got this one here, which I think is just for your steering wheel controls, which the new wheel has already in it. So. So yeah, so that's that. Just takes a little bit more force than what I wanted to give it. Just 3 little connector pins in there, usual. So this is your airbag. This is going to go in the new wheel. So just put this out of the way safe. Weighs a ton, by the way. Just leave that over there safely. Put it down actually. Not to mess up the connectors. Right. So now what we want to do is I'm going to slip the key back in. So just get this where I want it. So now that should be basically straight. We need to get something in there, so it should be this. Yeah, there you go. So you took 55. We'll go in this hole now. So now this goes out. This can go out the way down here. So we put this in. Hopefully. I'd say try and secure the wheel with your knees if you can. Oh, there you go. That was we didn't need the mallet in the end anyway. And there you go. That is your retainer bolt for your wheel. So now, if you just, let me just show you another tip. If you look inside the wheel, don't know if you're going to be able to see it, it's very small, but there's a fine line there and there. That is straight. So if these 2 lines here match up, that means your wheel is straight. So just remember that for when you're putting on the fresh wheel, because you don't want to make the mistake of your wheel's straight but your wheels ain't. So let's quickly see if this, hopefully this should just pop off. Now, one thing we do need to discuss is, on my new wheel, it's missing one of these bolts. No one's fault, I think it just got done in transit. So I spoke to control customers and they just said take one out of this wheel and put it in the new wheel. So I'm going to try and get one of these out. I don't quite know how they come out, but we'll work that out. And then let me grab the new wheel and you'll join me back when we've got the new wheel in here. So as you can see from them pictures I just put up, I did notice my wheel is the S-line wheel, and the wheel obviously that I've had modified is not. So I'm going to swap over just this unit with my buttons on it and swap it for this. It's quite easy. This just literally is like 4 clips, just all pop out. You just need a screwdriver, pry out. Very easy. So I'm just going to swap it over like for like. So I'll swap this, put it back on here because this is to go back to Control Customs Limited. And then we'll put my one, so I've still got my S-line and that on the new one, and then we'll pop it back in. So give me a minute to change it over and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. So there you go. The trim is all back on the steering wheel that come off the car. This will go back to Control Customs, obviously minus 1 bolt, and now with the same trim back on it. And then there's the trim, the S-line trim. This will go back onto this wheel, which I'll show you quickly now. It literally will just, if you get your wires out the way, it's literally line everything up. That should just slot down. There you go. And that's it. It's literally back in. Get a couple of clicks down there. And there you go. That's what it's going to look like. So I could not be more happier with this wheel. But let's jump back in the car and we'll get it refitted. Right, so we've got to put this back in this one because obviously, like I said, this was missing one. So it just slots in. It's literally that easy. So let's try and line this up now. I think that might be spot on. Let me get a torch on it. Just I want to make sure. This is the important part. I think that's either spot on or one click to the left. No, we're going to go with spot on. So now, relocate. Ooh. So now we're going to relocate our big bolt. So let's place it, get a couple of turns, getting it going. Click over. Try and hold the wheel with your knees again, so it's not going anywhere. Fine. Just holding this wheel already. Oh my god! I can't wait to get this thing out on the road. You want to get this nice and tight. So now's when you want to really secure your wheel. Don't. There you go, now I'm happy with that. That is tight. Give it a little check, a little wiggle. Right, so now comes the difficult part of relocating your airbag unit. So first we'll plug in the easy plug, which is this one, which is just for your steering wheel controls. Next, just make sure everything sort of where it should be. This sort of slots in a little slot down here. If you look down there, that's sort of like a little slot where you can put this plug. So you let me get it in there. Now you want to locate your yellow plug, pull your clasp forward, and that should just click. That's quite a satisfying click there. And now just now it slots into this, slots into a hole back here, so you can't locate it wrong. So once you've got that lined up, it will just slot in. And now if we swap back to our Torque 30 adapter, now we'll get back in these awkward angles. So it is fitted. It's on the car. The thing's back. Let me connect up the battery back up, and we'll check the horn still works and all our buttons still work. But I mean, just for a quick, just look, that is absolutely beautiful. I mean, the S-line and that really does set it off. We needed to put that on, but it feels it's really got a nice grip to it here. The carbon, it just, I think, like I said, I think it brings up the interior of this car. I think the rest of it, this is all just, I love it. I'm thinking, should I put some red on the rings here? So just a little thing, if anyone thinks, I'm found these things, these black bits, I can change to red. So if anyone thinks that's a good idea, let me know. If things are going to be too tacky, let me know. But yeah, I think I'm very, very happy. The 12 o'clock stripe looks amazing. The red, it just goes, it sets the car off. I mean, I'm going to change these now to red. We're going to get a red. So the red stitching on here and here, just to tie it all in, little bits to tie the whole car together. But I mean, this steering wheel, Control Customs has done a wicked job. I mean, I waited a long time for it, but I'm so happy. I could not be happier. So the other wheel will be making its way back to Control Customs Limited, so to get my deposit back. But as for this wheel, I could not be more happy. So let's get the battery connected up, and I'll show you it working in action. truth. Okay, right, okay, hold on. Oh, so as usual, nothing's easy. We've got a light here, don't know what it means, and that's some sort of traction light up there. So, and the steering's really light, really light. But there you go. Ah, so just turn your wheel both ways all the way, and it goes off. I'll tell you what, I'm going to drive it around the block quickly. So bear with me 1 sec. I'll be back. So as you can see now, no warning lights at all. Them ones have gone off, the steering wheel's gone. We'll just start back up. See? No warning lights at all. So like I said, you will get them warning lights. Don't panic like I did and have a semi-heart attack. Just turn your wheel, full lock one way, full lock the other way, and you're done. Now all I've got to do is replace the plastic caps, and we're done. But I think just before, I'll do that after, just on an overview, I could not be happier with this. I think this is one of the best mods I've made to the car. If anyone's thinking about it, unsure about it, just do it. It looks, I mean, you can see for yourself. I'll put a few little beauty shots in, but you can see for yourself, it's absolutely beautiful. It's just a perfect mod for this car. Makes it feel like a modern supercar. So yeah, Faker Control Customs, a link and everything will be down in the description. I'll also put it on the screen. Thank you to them for all their help and doing the wheel for me, even though it did, like I said, take forever. Definitely worth the wait. But my next one I order, I don't want to be waiting so long. But yeah, make sure you like, share, subscribe. And if you've got any questions about doing this, hit me in the comments. I answer all comments, so just ask and I'm there. But yeah, catch you on the next one.